everybody. I'm Lauren. I'm the teen librarian here at the Scott County Public Library in Georgetown, Kentucky, and I am here today for Teen Crochet 101 Part 2. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the temperature blanket project that I've been working on, and then I'm also going to show you guys how to switch colors, because as you can see, if you decide to do a temperature blanket, you're going to need to know how to do that. And then I thought I would show you how to do the ripple. So if you guys wanted to try your hand at that, I can maybe help you get started. So before I get into that though, I wanted to show you guys really quickly some of the amazing resources that we have here at the library to help you get started. So obviously we have books. We have lots of books. This is one of my favorites. I love him. I follow him on Instagram. It's the best. He has so many cool projects, you guys. And if blankets aren't your thing, how about some food? You want to crochet some food? We got books that show you how to crochet food. Or literary characters. You want to crochet Moby Dick? We got a book that shows you how to crochet Moby Dick. Not your thing? We got animal books. We got books that show you how to crochet bookmarks. If you guys figure out how to do this, oh my gosh, I want to see it because I want to do it so bad and I haven't gotten there yet. So, but not only do we have books, we also have a new resource. It's an online database called Creative Bug. So you can find this when you go to our website, so that's scottpublib.org, and you go to our e-resources. And it should be right there kind of in the front page. I think it's in the second row. It says Creative Bug. Click on it, you log in with your library card number, set up an account, and it's got classes on almost everything, guys. So these are just some of the crochet videos, and there are so many that it's insane. You could spend all day, all week on Creative Bug and find something new to do every hour. So I really wanted to show you guys that because I think it's awesome. I know I'm going to be using it soon. And now I'll go ahead and get started on the temperature blanket with you. So this is the temperature blanket. I started it on January 1st. Actually, I didn't. I think it was a couple days after January 1st. I never start anything on time. Like, don't believe me. But there are a lot of websites that you can go back and double check the past temperatures. They're very helpful, especially when you forget a day or two. So I just started with January 1st and worked my way through. And you can definitely tell how the temperature has shifted. So my pink or my magenta and my green are my more wintry colors. And then, you know, this purple and teal stripe right here, that was all of those snowstorms that we had. It was a lot of fun. And then we get more into kind of spring, so we're starting to see the light green, which is I think about 50 degrees, and the light blue, which is about 60. I always get really excited when we get to a new temperature because that means I get to use a new color. So then we had some 70, then we went back down to 40, and then up again, and now we're getting into our summer colors. So the yellow color is 80 degrees, and this hot pink that looks like pink lemonade, every time I see it next to the yellow, I think of pink lemonade, and I want pink lemonade, is my 90 and up color. I don't have anything for 100 degrees because I'm really hoping we don't get there, but you know, we'll see. So, and because I know myself, I know I would never keep all of that straight in my head. I made a color chart when I started this project. So I picked out, first I picked the range of temperatures. I'm sorry, it's a horrible color. I didn't write it in black, I wrote it in purple on brown, so you can't see it hardly at all. But I started with the range of temperatures that I wanted to do. Did I want to do, 0 to 30? Did I want to do every 10 degrees was a different color, which is what I ended up doing, because that meant I got to use a lot of colors, which I love. So once I figured out how many colors I needed, I went to the store and I just kind of picked out what colors I liked and then kind of what colors went together. So when I got home, I kind of laid them out and figured out, my favorite color is blue, and since we're Kentucky, we usually have quite a bit of it's kind of 60, 70 degrees in the spring and the fall. So those are my two blue colors, are my 60 and 70 degrees. So I get to use quite a lot of those, so it's fun. And then I kind of went from there, what looked good next to those, what to me said, 80 degrees or 90 degrees. So that's where we got the yellow and the pink, because those are warmer colors. And then as it gets cooler, so do the colors. I think, yeah, my 10 to 20 degree is probably the darkest color, is this teal. And we only have one row of it because we only got down to, I think, 17 degrees. Even though we had a lot of snow, it never really got below 10 degrees. So that is why I don't have any of my gray in it yet. Now there's still time because I have to do this all the way to December, so who knows. But those, those are my colors. That's how I picked those out and how I know what color to do which day. And then because I'm forgetful and have about 5 billion things going on at any given time, I also keep a note in my phone so that if I know I'm not going to be able to go home and crochet my row for the day, I go in and I write down what day it is, so the day of the week, and then what the high temperature was. So every color is the daily high. If I were going to do this again, I would probably take the average of the high and low, but I kind of like doing the daily high because it's really easy to figure out. You're just one number and you're done. So I'm about 2 weeks behind at this point, which will be, it's fun because I can sit down and watch some movies and just crochet until I catch up. So that'll be fun. And let's see, what else did I want to show you guys? If you do decide to do a blanket, remember we talked about how important it was to make sure you keep your stitches even. So this is 10 stitches all the way across. You want to make sure you keep consistent with that, otherwise it kind of goes all over the place. I wish I could find some of my first crochet projects to show you guys. They're terrible. But this is what I've got. So because I'm terrible at math and I am lose count every time, I use these little stitch markers. So these are just little hoops that they kind of lock together, and you can open them and move them around. And so just because I knew this was going to be a really long blanket and I didn't want to have to try to count without help every time, I just use one of these every 10 stitches. And that way I know I've done 10. I go back and I double count it because I have to make sure. And then I move it and then I carry on. And so that's how I keep track of how many stitches my blanket is. That's how I keep it from going wonky and it stays one length, I guess. So I don't drop a stitch. Anyway. And then, those are, they come in all sorts of different things. There's also these little like fake safety pin things that you can use. You can use regular safety pins, you can use bobby pins, whatever floats your boat, guys. And then I did want to show you one last thing. So last time we talked about the yarn is different sizes. So I have my gray yarn here that we use, and then this is for my temperature blanket, and you can see they're different size yarns, so they need different hooks and everything like that. But not only do they need different hooks, they're gonna, bigger yarn is gonna give you a bigger stitch. It just makes sense. So between each of these stitch markers is 10 stitches, and this little square is 10 stitches across. So if we line those up, you can see that the square goes past my stitch marker by a stitch or two because it's a bigger yarn. It just makes it bigger. So you want to make sure that if you're doing a blanket, your yarn is all the same size and you keep up with that. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys, you absolutely do not need one of these. This is just, I wanted one. So this is a little yarn bowl, and while you're crocheting or knitting, you can pull your tail through here, and that way it kind of keeps it nice and organized. It doesn't go all over the place. Your cat doesn't run away with it. They still find a way, I promise. But you don't need one of those. That's just if you want to be super fancy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I will show you guys how to change colors, and then we'll also do a ripple. so we can kind of show you guys how to do that. Okay, so I have a square that we started last time. Move those kind of out of the way. And I'm going to show you guys how to switch colors. So I've got a couple stitches left here. So I'm going to just finish those out. And now I'm at my last one. So before I grab this and pull it through, I'm going to change my colors. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my tail here and get that nice and free. And I'm going to grab my pink, and I'm going to take my hook and just pull that through like that. Now I'm going to take my navy blue here and kind of pull that down so it's nice and snug, and a little bit more tail on your pink. And now let me count my stitches and make sure that I have what I need. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So now I still need to do one to grow on, don't I? Grab more pink, pull it through, flip my block around, and we're going to come to our first stitch here. So I like to kind of crochet my tails in. Those are the words I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold them along the top edge of my row so that when I grab my pink and pull it through, I am kind of more or less covering them up. So I'll show you guys again. So I'm going to come through my loop. The tails are over top of my hook. I'm going to grab the pink, and when I grab that, that pulls it down over the two tails. So not only does that kind of help hide that, but it also secures it so that it doesn't come undone. And we're just going to keep doing that. And that is how you change colors. So if you do like a temperature blanket where it's a really long row, or if you're just kind of getting low on a color, you know, you can switch your colors that way. There are other ways. I think you can splice your yarn together, but I just think this is easier. And for blankets and, you know, blanket squares or whatnot, it's pretty well hidden. All right. Now, your tails do not have to be the length of your square, but because the square is a smaller one at 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoop. And I think I dropped a stitch, guys, but that's okay. We can add one back in. Man, you get to the end, it's always so hard to get under that yarn. Okay, there we go. So, and anyway. Okay. But yeah, that is how you change colors and cover up your tails. You can always just, you know, do a couple stitches over the tails. Once you feel that they're pretty secure, just trim off that end. And there you go. That's that. So you just continue on with that. I said I was going to add a stitch back in, but I'm not going to. I'm probably going to undo that and just start over again. But that is how you change colors. So I'm going to grab our other yarn here and show you guys how to do a ripple stitch. And this is a little bit trickier in my opinion because you kind of have to count more. So it's a little harder for me to get started, so bear with me. So we're going to just get started with our slip knot and pull that through. And there we go. Okay. Get that started. So when you do a ripple, you want to make sure that you have whatever number you want your little mountain to be. So if you do 5 up or 7 up, I think 5 is probably the smallest you want to go. But if you do 5 or 7 or 10, however many you do, you want to make sure that you start with 3 on the end. So you have 3 stitches here. I'm going to go ahead and do 7. I like 7. It's a good number. So I'm going to add in 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 stitches there. So I'm going to count those. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, this is why we count. Okay. So now I have 3 stitches and 7, so I have 10 total. So now that I have my 7, I'm going to add in another 3, 2, 3, and I'm going to do another 7. So the 3 at the very beginning are kind of just, they're your starting point. The next 7 go up, and then the 3 are after the 7 are like kind of the point of your little mountain, and then the next 7 are going to be going back down. So we're going to add in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we have our downward 7. We're going to do another 3. Bet you guys never saw that coming. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do another 7. 1. You guys are going to be tired of these numbers. 3, 4, 6, 7. And guess what comes next? Another 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's long enough to show you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to do 1, 2, grow on, and turn it around. So, going to come and start my 3. So we're just going to do our normal 3, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. All right. Now, to make kind of a point, we skip 2. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and start over here. So this is the start of our 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And you guys can kind of tell at this point there's a little bit of a ridge, or a ripple starting. So now that we've done our 7, how do we make our kind of point at the top? So we're going to start our next chain. We're going to just chain 1. And instead of moving on, you're going to stay in this same loop and chain 3 total. So there's 2, 3. And that's all in the same starting stitch. Now we're just going to move on to the next one. The very next one, don't skip any at this point. And we go 1, 2, so we're going down 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, get some more yarn. All right, so now you can kind of see you have a valley, you have a little peak here. So now we're down back into our valleys, so we're going to skip 2 again. So that's 1, 2, so we're going to start in this third one. Now we're going back up 7, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that was back up 7. So what do we do when we get to the top? We do our 3 and 1. So we go to this next one and we do 1, stay in that one, 2, and we're going to stay there one more time, and oops, get a little tight there, 3. So that's our kind of point, and then we just come back down like normal. So we go to the next one, we go 1, 2, 3, and you would go back down 7. And that was, I'm going to leave it there with 3. And remember, because you want 3 at the beginning as kind of like your plane going into your mountain, and then once you get all the way across, however many ripples you're going, you want 3 at the end as kind of like the end of your little mountain range. But there you can see we've got a nice little ripple going. So you just kind of keep building on that. Remember, when you get to your end to, do 1 to grow on before you turn it around and go back the other way. But there you go, guys. That is how you change colors and how you can do a ripple. All right, everybody. So that is how you change colors and you start a ripple stitch. Hope you guys learned something. If you guys start any crochet projects, we would love to see them. Send us a picture either on Facebook or to our website, or email, I guess. And make sure you check out our calendar of events for more summer reading activities. We've got another crochet, I think next month, with Mercedes, and she's going to show us how to do some fancy stitch work. She's going to show you and me, because I don't know how to do it. I'm excited because the stuff she does is incredible. And yeah, just stay tuned. Check out our events page for more summer reading activities, guys.